Hello, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Becky Womble, and I'm the president of the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber began an initiative called Bastrop Votes in December of 2015. The purpose of this initiative is very simple. It is to promote the vote in Bastrop as well as Bastrop County. For the first time in Bastrop's 185-year history, we have a runoff election. It is for the Bastrop City Council, Place 3. The candidates are Mr. Lee Harrell, a local business owner, and Mr. Lyle Nelson, a transit exec. Both of these candidates participated in our forums during the general election, and we are proud to say that both are participating in our one-on-one interviews today. I will be asking each candidate a series of identical questions. After each question, they will have approximately 2 to 3 minutes for a response. The format is intended to be like a living room chat so that you can see their personality, hear their heart, engage their knowledge of issues that are facing the city of Bastrop. So, if you're ready, here are the candidates and their interviews, Mr. Lee Harrell and Mr. Lyle Nelson. I'm here with Mr. Lee Harrell, one of our candidates for Place 3 City Council, and he is participating in our Bastrop Votes initiative. Thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you for doing this.
Can you take a deep breath? I haven't got your questions. Our first question is, I think, an easy one, but it's what are the top 3 issues facing the city of Bastrop and why?
The top 3 issues facing Bastrop, and this is what I've said before, is Bastrop needs to be a great place to live, a great place to work, and a great place to visit. It needs to be a great place to live. The way we achieve that is by addressing our infrastructure and our connectivity. Connectivity through trails, connecting our neighborhoods to our schools and our parks, and easing the burden east-west traffic-wise off of 71 and creating some more east-west corridors are a few ideas that I've had and things that I think would make the community better. A great place to work, it's our economy. We really need to support our EDC in their task to create jobs and support businesses. And as far as a great place to visit, we are on a great path right now in developing a tremendous asset to the community in our destination marketing organization. Some great steps have been taken in the last few months, and I think that by developing this DMO will allow us to create a destination that not only visitors but also the folks that live here will really enjoy. And tourism is incredibly important right now, as it is across all of Texas, as retail is declining, and tourism is is a great way to replace the loss to the city in sales tax revenue as retail declines. So it's very important that this DMO be done right for both our visitors and our locals.
I'm here with Lyle Nelson, one of our candidates for Place 3 for City Council. Just here doing a short interview with him to talk to him about why he's running for City Council. Are you ready?
I am.
Well, I appreciate you coming and being part of our Bastrop Votes initiative.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Sure thing. First question should be easy, kind of an icebreaker for you. It's a question you've kind of answered for us before. But my first question is, what are the top 3 issues facing the city of Bastrop and why?
You know, during the forum, we spoke about the top 3 issues, and I threw out mine as infrastructure, infrastructure, infrastructure. And I'm still sticking with that, but on top of that, the premise of my campaign is also to bring a more inclusive government to all of our city. And third is to bring an open government to all of our cities so that everything is up front for our citizens to learn and participate in the governmental process.
Awesome. That was pretty easy.
Thank you.
My next question is, the city of Bastrop and its citizens just spent a great deal of time and energy as well as money developing a comprehensive plan. If you are elected on June 17th, how will you ensure that we implement it and follow it?
I will insist that we implement and follow the plan for the primary reason it was so citizen driven. If you read about how the comprehensive plan came about, there was a plethora of public input on that. And the citizens were able to add their voice into it rather than somebody telling them what they need. And interestingly enough, I brought by a copy of that comprehensive plan. And it's a wonderful plan, but it's dynamic enough that if it needs change, the plan can change without changing the strategic part of it.
Well, do you think Connie Schrader chairing that comprehensive plan prepared her to be mayor?
I think it was a great preparation. I think Connie Schrader was prepared to be mayor prior to that and without that. But this is certainly a boon for the city that she did chair that, so we can move forward in bringing the strategic plan to our citizens.
And understanding it.
Absolutely.
Next question. The city of Bastrop and its citizens spend a great deal of time, energy, and money developing a comprehensive plan. If you're elected on June 17th, how will you ensure that this plan is implemented and followed?
Well, first of all, with the comprehensive plan, I was on that steering committee when it was put together, and the product is a great map, a great suggestion on how to move forward. I think it is something that the council needs to bring. It needs to have conversations about regularly. It should be in the conversation constantly, no matter what the issues are. We should always be looking to the comprehensive plan to say, what did the citizens say about this when we talked to them, or when they had the opportunity to give their input during the comprehensive plan process. And the final note on that is, I feel confident that that is exactly what the council will do, as our new mayor was also the chair of that steering committee. I nominated her to be chair, by the way.
She's probably thanking you for that. Okay, our next question is, you and your opponent both attended a 2-day training conducted by our city manager, Linda Umble. What would you say is the one thing that you learned from that training that you did not know before you filed to run for city council?
Man, those 2 days was 2 full days, 8 to 5, and it's hard to say one thing because there was so many great things that came from that.
Give me a couple.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what I told the city manager at the end when she asked, and I said that it was relieving to see that there had been this perception that a lot of city staff was not satisfied, and that there was some discourse within the operations of the city, and I didn't see that at all. I saw department heads coming in with members of their staff excited about what they do, very knowledgeable about what they do, and passionate about what they do, and complimentary of one another and of the other departments that were in the room similar times to them. And I just saw it seemed like a very cohesive team. So I think that the perception that that there might be some problems within city operations is just a perception and not reality. It was exciting to see and learn from these passionate individuals that make our city run and serve all of our citizens on a daily basis. And they do so on shoestring budgets, and they make it go a long way, and that was impressive as well. All that they do with the limited resources that they have and how creative they get. The second takeaway I will have is about the first day, about halfway through, I'm sitting in the room and I start looking around at all the council members were there, and myself and Mr. Nelson were there as well. We were both grateful to have the opportunity to be there. And it occurred to me that of the people in the room, the only one that had been involved in the running of city government at the policy or operations level for more than 2 years was Gary Schiff, who's been on the council for 2 years. Everyone else was new, with the exception of Bill Peterson, who's been there before. But it really is there's a lot of fresh start feel to what's going on right now. And it was exciting to see the rest of that council there, and the way that everyone was communicating with one another and how engaged and excited they were to be there. And the whole 2 days was just really cool.
That's awesome. It's good to hear.
Yeah.
It's good to hear. My next question for you is, you and your opponent just attended 2 days of training with our new city manager, Linda Umble. What is one thing that you learned that you did not know before filing to run for place 3?
The one thing that I really learned is if things aren't getting done within our city, it's not due to the quality of our city staff, it's due to the quantity of our city staff. I think giving our city staff and our new city manager the tools to do the job as outlined in the comprehensive plan is going to provide tremendous benefit to our city and to our citizens.
Great. Okay, on Tuesday, June 13th, you've probably heard that we have a workshop scheduled from 5 to 6:30, and it is to discuss our ethics ordinance. Do you have any recommendations for that ordinance?
I do not. Let me provide a caveat to that. I want to see the final product. We have a draft sitting out there, and they've taken the time and the effort to provide for more citizen input into that. I'm going to watch that very carefully. Ideally enough, I just completed a training syllabus for my job to train my staff and our board for ethics. And ethics is something that's very, very keen on my list of things that need to be done on a routine basis.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, on Tuesday, June 13th, there's a workshop planned from 5:30 to 6:30 to discuss the ethics ordinance. Do you have any suggestion for that ordinance?
The ethics ordinance, there's been some talk about the ethics ordinance, quite a bit about it. The ethics ordinance is not it's not an ordinance that I have read frontwards and backwards. I know there's several people out there who are, and there are some citizens groups who are, and I think that's a good thing, because that's what it takes. If citizens want to see their government operate ethically, then yeah, they need to question. They need to question how the government's being held accountable, and that's happening right now. So. Just repeat the question real quick.
Just asking if you had any suggestion for changes to the ordinance.
I don't have any personal suggestions for the changes in the ordinance. I guess the short answer, I don't have any personal suggestions, but I know some other folks do, and I think the city needs to listen to the citizens that are studying this, and listen to the legal aid that does know this. And the council, from a policy level, needs to do what's right based on what they hear from the citizens and what they hear from their legal counsel to address any changes to the ordinance.
Awesome. If elected, what are you willing to do to help manage the city of Bastrop's image going forward?
Well, I've said from the beginning that one of the reasons that I was running is because I was really disturbed by the infighting in the council over the last couple of years, and I think that has been a big part of the reason why we have such a bad image. Because the truth is, if people should be jealous of what we have here. Other communities across Central Texas and all of Texas should be jealous of what we have going on here in Bastrop. So to protect our image, first and foremost, as a council member, I would bring the characteristics that I hold important are communication, compromise, and respect. So the ability to communicate with the other council members, with citizens, with staff, etc. The ability to compromise when there's differences of opinion, and most importantly, respect. Respect of other council members, respect of staff, respect of citizens, respect of other local governments. Those three things can go a long way in helping to clean up the image, and if the rest of the council will do the same thing, and I feel confident they will from what I've seen so far. And I think another great thing that's going to help is we have a very good mayor right now. I'm very excited about Mayor Schrader, and I think supporting her and is going to just be a big part of cleaning up our image. I think she's going to do a great job representing Bastrop and showing the rest of the world what we're really about here.
Mm-hmm. I'm already impressed with the new mayor. She is plugging into our events at the chamber, and so I really appreciate that because my business community expects to see her out. So she's doing a great job, and she's 9 days on the job at this point. So.
Yeah, I think she's been to about 30 events.
Yep. Another question. If you are elected, what will you be willing to do to manage the image of the city of Bastrop in Central Texas going forward?
That's an extraordinarily interesting question. The image that Bastrop has out there is something that's easily remedied, easily mitigated, easily taken care of by just having adult dialogue through the city council meetings, addressing the citizens' issues in an open forum, in an honest discussion to create the appropriate atmosphere for our city to move forward. It is a crying shame that we get into a situation to where we do not address the citizens' needs because we're taking care of petty differences. It's time to put those aside and move forward.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to paint a scenario for you. Fast forward to Sunday, June 18th. And in this scenario, you are not the one that is elected. What message would you like to give Mr. Harrell?
I would ask that Lee provide the city the policy-making leadership in conjunction with the rest of the council and with the mayor and move forward in a positive way to ensure the needs of the citizens, all of our citizens, north, south, east, and west, are met and addressed. If they can't be addressed immediately, at least plan for the future and relay that to our citizens so there's no surprises, no disappointment, but they're moving forward in the same direction.
Cool. Let's do the flip side of that coin. What excites you about the possibility of being elected to the city council?
I believe we're at the cusp of moving Bastrop forward. You know, we just had that study that came out that indicated the growth in Bastrop has been tremendous over the past couple of years, especially since 2010. The growth of our city is indicative of the need that people have and the desire that people have to move into a community that is as dynamic as Bastrop is. And I believe that if we provide the appropriate leadership to our city staff and to our city, that we're going to move our city forward in a positive manner. I think working with council and working with this outstanding new mayor is going to prove a great benefit to our city and our citizens.
Awesome. I'm going to paint a scenario for you. We're going to
Okay.
fast forward to June 18th. If you are not elected, what message would you want to leave for your opponent?
So day after the election, and I lost, and what would I like to say? First of all, I'd say I've gotten an opportunity to know Mr. Nelson over the course of this campaign, and we've sat down and visited a couple of times, and of course I've been around one another enough to get to know each other, and he's a good man, and he's very qualified, and I wouldn't be worried about the state of Bastrop. I know he could do the job, so because I've gotten to know him, I would feel comfortable saying to him, stay true to yourself, stay true to what you said you were going to do, and representing the citizens first, and don't forget communication, compromise, and respect. And that's where I think I'd leave it.
That's a great message. Great message. Let's flip the coin on the other side. What excites you the most about the possibility of being elected to the city council?
What excites me the most? Two things. Number one, the possibility of getting to work with Linda Humble is exciting. She is dynamic. Everything I've seen from her has been moving Bastrop in the right direction. She understands how the council manager form of government works, and she is capable of helping the council members understand that, because there's a fine line there at times, and it's kind of, it's not just super clear at times who's doing what role. But at the same time, we also have a council right now that I think is a good mix. Everyone that was just elected and the seats that were already filled with Mr. Peterson, Mr. Schiff, and Ms. Jones, along with Bill and Connie now, it's it's just a good mix of individuals who are passionate about Bastrop. They've proven to me through that orientation period, that classes that we went through, that they're capable of working together. And I just think it would be a joy to work with them on the challenges that Bastrop is going to face over the next few years. And I know that that group is going to work as a team, and I want to be a part of that team. I want to bring my insight, my experience, and my skills to the table to help them. And I'm just optimistic that there are great things ahead for Bastrop, and I hope to be able to help at a policy level guide this community through some very difficult challenges ahead.
Awesome. I think we've got a lot of great leaders in place right now, and it's an exciting time to be part of Bastrop.
It is.
So, any last words or comments that you want to tell the audience that's watching this video? Just anything that's on your mind, anything that you want to say?
Yeah, I will say, you know, I didn't really make this super clear during the first election, but in the runoff, it's something that has I've been asked about a few times. You know, I didn't decide. I announced to run for place 3 on the city council in December. I did so after much thought and deliberation. I've been thinking about the possibility of running for council for about 2 years now. And it's something I've been preparing for. I've spent time getting to know city staff, city officials, as well as county officials and state officials. And I feel like I am prepared to do the job. When you think about serving your community, this is a message that I like to leave with the leadership classes that I help conduct. And one of my parting messages is, when you're looking for when you have the skills and you're looking for how to serve your community, there's a 3-part test. You look at what are your talents, what are your passions, and what are the opportunities. And imagine 3 circles, and they all kind of interlope, and the little spot in the middle is what you're looking for. And I think when I looked at my talents, at my passions, and the opportunities, I landed at place 3 on the Bastrop City Council.
Awesome. Okay, so I've peppered you with questions. What is one thing that you would like to share with the audience that might be watching this video that I did not ask you?
You know, I think one of the things that I want to share with the city is that we're an amalgamation of new and old citizens. The fact that we have new citizens coming into this city and want to participate in the process, participate into making this city better, and working with the citizens who have been here a while to hold on to that historical nature of our city. 185-year history of our city is something that cannot be forgotten, and we need to retain that while still moving forward and managing the growth. And I think that we're at that cusp that we can move forward in a positive manner and not in a negative way.
Awesome. Thank you for tuning in and getting information so that you can be an informed voter. Early voting begins June 5th and runs through June 13th. Election day is Saturday, June 17th. Go to bastropvotes.com for exact times and polling locations, or call the Bastrop County Elections Office at 512-581-7160. Your vote matters, especially in local elections. The difference can be just a handful of votes in some cases. Again, my name is Becky Womble with the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce. Have a great day.